What's up guys, Aaron Benjamin here for another video. Lately on my channel we have been focusing on sweeping bigger guys, escaping side control from bigger guys, various things against bigger guys, because being a light feather who's 140 pounds, the question I probably get asked almost most often is how do you fight against bigger guys, how do you roll against bigger guys, etc. So unfortunately my uke today is not a very big guy. It is my wife Bruna, who is a mere 120 pounds, not even, probably 115 or something. I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble for that later. But anyways, she's not a big guy. But the concepts and the techniques that I'm utilizing here are things that I use every day against bigger guys. In the future, I'm going to be putting up live rolls from the academy. I've already put up some videos of competition footage on my channel. I want to get more and more competition footage, but a lot of the footage I have is very bad because typically that day I'm more focused on the actual competition, and it's like rinky-dink cell phone footage from a coach yelling. So I'm going to be working on getting better better footage of competitions. But I do the open weight pretty often, and I tend to have a lot of success there as a light feather. So this is going to be against somebody who's on their knees. So probably the most common thing that bigger guys do when they try to pass your guard is they pass on the knees. And probably the most common question, the number one question I get is how do you go against somebody who's passing on their knees? Whether it's a big guy or not. Today we're addressing big guys, and I can tell you that the way I engage my rolls against somebody who's passing on their knees is almost the same. I've made a video on this technique before, a little bit more in depth on the actual technical aspect and not so much the conceptual approach to why I use it on big guys. So I will try to find that and link it in the description. Today it's going to be a little bit different of an approach and a little bit different explanation because I want to talk precisely about why I use it against big guys. So let's get into it. Sorry for rambling. So, Bruna's here and she's on her knees. Guys, the first thing that I'm looking for is one, I'm in a butterfly guard and I'm always hand fighting. The first thing that you have to do against anybody, big or small, is hand fight. I can never let Bruna attack my legs. So my butterfly guard posture is hands over ankles. I'm not too far forward so she can shove my head down. I'm not too far back so she can push me back easily. I have to find that median where I have good base and I'm strong. Now, I'm always hand fighting. She's trying to grab and stuff. I'm constantly fighting and monitoring her hands. Now, the thing that I'm looking for me personally, is always a 2-on-1. But I want you to think conceptually about my approach to this. I'm going to be going for drags. So I can drag with the grip that I'm going to show you today, or you can drag with different grip variations that tend to control the same side of her body. So the grip that I like to go for is if she grabs my grip, let's say, and I break hers, I come here, I push her hand to the inside, and I grab this seam on the armpit, and then I grab here. Okay, that's one variation of the grip. The second is just I grab her wrist, I feed her wrist to my wrist, and then I grab her elbow here. That's probably the one I use more often because it's quick, right? We're here, we're monitoring each other's hands, I grab her wrist, I feed, and I'm here, okay? And it's also good because you can use it in no-gi. Now, what I'm gonna do now, at this point, is I can, one, make a sleeve grip, because I have the gi, why not utilize it, and make that armpit grip, or I can hold. But I'm going to open my leg while simultaneously pulling her arm across my body, I'm doing an arm drag, and pushing her knee. Now the arm drag is traditionally taught, we drag, and we start to attack the back. And that's beautiful and it works. Again, I always say this, there's no right or wrong. If you do that right now and it's working for you, amazing. The way that I do the arm drag, particularly against bigger guys, if I get this grip, is I'm going to step out and I'm going to push her knee. So my leg is going to slide across the mat. I never push high, right? I don't keep my leg up. My foot is touching the floor, and I'm going to push her knee back as I drag her arm across, pull her towards me, and start to attack. It's going to look like this. So we're here. I go to this. This leg opens. Drag. Exactly, just like this. And now look, I keep hold of my right hand grip if I have it, if you guys can see. Right, my chest is very close to her shoulder. I come up. Hug the waist. If I have the first hook, I keep it. I make my seatbelt. I fall forward, and I attack the back. Okay, so that's my first approach to rolling with almost anybody on the knees. So now if you guys come visit the Bernardo Free Academy and you roll with me and you pass on your knees, there's about a 95% chance that I'm going to push your knee for one reason or another. So most of the time I'm looking for the drag. So again, we're here, I get to this position, I come here, push, come up, hug the waist, and pull. Guys, it's important to note, I'm not going to show it on Bruna today, but if you can't break down the person's turtle guard, right, so if you're here and you bring them here and stay in turtle, and you come up, and you can't break them down to a hip, meaning take their back and bring them to a hip, guys, I'll attack the turtle coming up on top, right? So I'll just come up here. You can do a body triangle. You can start to choke from there. You can go for arm bars, bow and arrows, clock chokes, etc. So one more time, we're hand fighting, right? I get my grips, push here, bring her to a hip, keep the head close, and take the back. Now, I mentioned thinking conceptually about this because I'm attacking one side of her body. In this case, it's the right side of her body. So if she's on her knees in front of me, there's different grip variations that some other people might use. You can use a traditional freestyle or Greco arm drag here, right? So I'm hand fighting, and I can go here. That's fine. I do that all the time. That's probably my second most utilized. Or you can go collar and sleeve, cross collar, not same side. Pull the collar and go. You can go single collar, pull the collar and go. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I've even dragged with just the wrist, right? I can't get that second grip. She's pulling back, so I just go. But I always push the knee. So option number one is to take the back. I do it on all the big guys. There's another reason that I do it, and it's going to be timing. So I'm going to cup a little. So what happens if we're here with a big guy? We get this grip, right? And they're trying to come forward. We back up. They come forward. We back up, push, and then I start to attack the back. So let's go back. As the person comes towards us, it's easy to kick that knee out from underneath him because it gets light. So again, I have the grip, I back up, they're coming, I back up, they're coming, push, and I start to attack the back. Whether they fall or they stay up a little, the idea is to be attacking the back. Now the second most common thing that happens against a higher level guy when you kick that knee really hard and drag the arm is they fall to their opposite side hip. So that what they don't want to do is fall to the same side hip of the sleeve that's controlled. So what Bruna does not want to do is fall to this hip, because then I take her back. So she wants to fall to a single hip to defend, but she wants to fall to her far hip. So she wants to fall to her other hip. So to her left hip, exactly. Because now I can't take her back. So somebody who's experienced and understands that it's a precarious position that they got themselves into and that they're likely going to have their back taken is not going to just accept the position. They're going to fall. They're going to dictate which hip they fall to, at which point you will get the top position and sweep, which against a bigger guy is the best thing in the world. So typically for me, I still play guard against bigger guys because I want to sweep them and put them in a position where I'm on top and I'm dictating where we are. So I don't want them to pull me into a guard that they like, because it might be like a guard they're really good at. Like for Bernardo, it's half guard, for instance. So what I want to do is play guard, sweep them into a passing position that I'm really good at, and then I have a lot more success, no offense to any big guys, passing bigger guys guards than guys my same size, weight, or age. Because I just think that the amount of dexterity and mobility that they might have can sometimes differentiate. So if you're quick and you can get into a passing position that you want to, you can pass very quickly. But if they pull you into a guard, I've had big guys that are like 250, and you would guess like, oh man, that guy's probably out of shape. Man, he pulls you into a deep half or a lasso, and you're like, what? This guy plays lasso, and you're going overhead within 3 seconds. So that's the name of the game here, dictate the pace. So again, I'm here, Bruna's on her knees, I get my 2-on-1, I go to push her knee, when I do, she falls to her left hip, right, and I come up. Okay, now right away, I'm gonna hug the head, and I'm gonna start to back step so that I can keep pressure, or I'm gonna look for folding passes. Right, so again, one more time, a little more realistic here. I'm here, I get my grips, I push, she turns, I get into this position, sometimes I stuff the ankle quickly, bring the leg through, and then I start to get into my folding passes. Whatever pass you do, it should be a pass that you're good at and you feel confident with. But the path is to kick the knee and drag the arm. Whether you do it with the lapel, the 2-on-1, the Greco, whatever you do, if they're good, they're going to fall to that left hip or the opposite hip that they should fall to take their back, or you're going to take their back. And if they get their back taken, I shouldn't say if they're good. Like if they get their back taken, maybe you surprised them and it was good. I'm not calling anyone good or bad, but think about that. Play with that, because that is a technique that I promise you will work. That's a technique that I call easy implementation. You can take it right from the get-go, start your roll with it, and you'll see success with it. I used to do a lot of solo drills with it too, where I would come here, kick, fall to my elbow, kick, fall to my elbow, kick, fall to my elbow, and so on and so forth. So try it out, guys. As usual, if you like this content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps me grow this channel. We're growing at a pretty good pace here, and I'm really ecstatic with that. I never thought the channel would grow like this. I never thought we'd have as many views as we do, but yet here we are. So many of you guys are always commenting and sending me messages. I love to hear anything and see what you guys have to say, so please keep it up. And don't forget to check out my new instruction on BJJ Fanatics. It's 6 volumes on the half butterfly guard. The feedback has been unbelievable, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. And always, guys, thank you so much. Thanks to my wife, Bruna.